Hi everyone, this is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing, and in today's tip video, I'm going to show you how you can utilize Dotloop to create task list templates. So they'll be very similar to to-do lists of all the things that you might need to do during a transaction. So for example, when you're listing a property, there are of course tons of different items that you need to do in order to get your listing ready to go live. And you can utilize Dotloop to not only create to-do lists, but also save those to-do list templates to add to every loop, every future listing loop you create in Dotloop. You can add that to-do list to help keep yourself on track. So let's take a look at how easy it is to get started on that. So of course you'll want to go ahead and go to Dotloop to do this. And you can either go to dotloop.com directly to log in, or you can go to mykw.kw.com and click on Start My Transactions from the top center eEdge control panel box. Okay, so whichever way you prefer to get into Dotloop is totally fine. Once you're there, you can simply go ahead, just to practice this, if you would like to go ahead and click on a loop that you might already have in your Dotloop account. Okay, so simply click on the loop to open that up further, and then we'll scroll down to the very bottom of your loop, where you'll notice this task section on the very bottom of your loop. In this task section, you might also see that your office staff might add different forms for you to add down here to stay in compliance. So a lot of offices will utilize this task section to help you stay in compliance and to make sure that you can get your paycheck at the end of the transaction, which is always a good thing. But to utilize it for you to create to-do lists in the system, what you can do is click this big red button that says Add Task List. When I do that, it will add that new task list in right here. Now instead of it just being a generic name here, I would like to name that my listing task list. So what I will do to rename that is I'll come right over here on the far right of that task list. You'll notice 3 dots. You'll want to go ahead and click on those 3 dots to rename that task list. So I'll go ahead and select rename. You'll see it'll then put a blinking cursor to the left of the word new. I can use the arrows on my keyboard to tab over to the word new to the right side so I can erase that and type in the word listing. Of course, you can name this whatever you would like it to be. Listing to-do list, real estate listing to-do list, whatever you'd like to, whatever makes the most sense to you. Get creative, and then you can either click enter on your keyboard or click in the white margin on the left-hand side to make that new name stick right away. So now you'll notice it says add a task in red. I can simply click there to start adding some of the items that I would need to do to get my listing ready to go live. So things like put my sign in the yard. Okay, so I can simply type that in and click enter, and I'll go down to the next row there so I can keep adding here. Let's say get the home professionally measured. And then enter. And we can keep going here. So let's say take photos of listing. Add listing paperwork to Dotloop. And so forth. Okay, of course, there are a whole bunch of different items that you have to do to get your listing ready to go live. So imagine adding all of those items here, like putting your home in showing time and so forth, to make sure that you're covering all those many items and you don't have to be thinking of them on your head, and you can just come in here and check these off as you go along. Now, so what I will want to do is, let's say once I'm done compiling this list of all the items I need to do for my listing, I want to go ahead and save this task list template so that I can add this into future listing loops to help keep myself on track. So now what I'll do is go to the far right, these drop down dots on the far right of the task list name, and I will select Create Template from that drop down. And I will name this listing task list template. Okay, whatever you would like to name it, you absolutely can here. And I will click Create Template. All right, so now that has been saved. So let's put this in the works. All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say a couple weeks down the road, I get another new listing. I'm doing awesome. All right. So I come into my Dotloop account, I create that new listing loop. So I'll just open up a different loop I have in here just to show you guys how this works. So this is my new listing loop. I scroll to the very bottom, and now I want to simply add that listing to-do list, okay, that listing task list, back to the bottom of this new listing loop. So what you would do is click Load Template on the bottom of your loop here, and that will pull up any templates that you have. Right, you'll notice there's a little scroll bar on the far right. If you do see some task lists in here that you didn't create yourself, your office staff can also create these to-do lists to help agents stay in compliance. So just so you're not confused, that's most likely what those are if you are seeing those. And I can use this gray scroll bar on the far right to scroll to the very bottom and find the one that I created. So now I'll simply want to check that box next to the listing task list I created and click Add. And you'll notice it adds that template in right away. So now I can get rolling. I don't have to think about it or spend any more time on this. I can simply go through these items and check them off as I go. All right, so that is how you can create to-do list templates and add that to every single loop that you have to help keep yourself on task. Just a couple more things to note on that. You might see on the top, you might have always wondered what this, why the red goes around the loop that you might see, and you'll see that on your Dotloop homepage around your loop. You'll see a red filling, and that has to do that directly corresponds with the tasks on the bottom. You'll notice actually when I hover over that loop with the red going around it, it tells me 40% of tasks completed. So as I go to the bottom and as I get through my entire task list here and check everything off, you'll notice that loop comes in full circle because I have completed all of my tasks. So that does directly correlate. We get that question quite often. And one last thing for you guys to know to take away from today's video is on the top right of your Dotloop account, you will notice some other navigational icons on the top right black toolbar. And you'll notice one that looks like a check mark in a box there. And you'll notice that if I hover my mouse over that icon, it does pop up showing me this is the tasks icon. So this will show you an overview of all the tasks that you have due for all of your loops cumulatively. Oh, sorry, tongue twister. All right, so that'll show you all the to-do list items that you have to do for every single loop to give you an overarching umbrella view of all your to-do items. Alright guys, so that was today's tip video on Dotloop. Creating to-do lists, they're called task lists, in your Dotloop account is highly effective to help keep yourself on track and not have to rack your brain of all the items that you need to do to get your listing on the market or even to help your buyer. Alright, let us know if you have questions on that. Feel free to email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'd be happy to help you further. Have a great one, guys.